What's going on, guys? Asian Guy here, bringing you a video more so guided towards beginners of the game. So if we have any veterans, please do help out those beginners in the comment section down below. So these are going to be the biggest regrets and biggest mistakes that I have at adventure rank 50 and above. So currently I'm adventure rank 53, world level 7, and there are some massive mistakes I have made on the way here that I would like to prevent newcomers to this game or newcomers to this genre from making the same mistakes. Now the very first one is going to be, you guessed it guys, prototypes. Now prototypes are very difficult to obtain. I've never ever been lucky enough to get any of these prototypes to be dropped from the weekly bosses. I know some of you guys have been super lucky, but I know the majority of people have made the same mistake as me and used a lot of these prototypes to refine a certain weapon. So in my case, if I take a look at this prototype Aminus here, you can see this refinement rank 2. And what this means is I made 2 prototypes and I merged it into one. What I should have done is I should have left 2 separate prototypes, because what happened to me was I had Razor, who's a Claymore user, and then eventually after I already had Refinement Rank 2 prototype Amnes, I pulled Diluc. I didn't have a weapon for Diluc. I do now. I'm lucky enough to own these, but I was at first very unlucky and I had to use 3-star weapons, and it was just a feels bad, man. So when you are making your prototype weapons, guys, please make sure that you have enough weapons for any future characters you're hoping to pull. Otherwise, you're going to be in a very sticky situation that I was in, where I'm going to need to have, you know, I'm either going to have to wail for a new weapon, or I'm just going to have to pray and wait a long time, because I've never had a prototype sample item ever drop for me in weekly bosses, and that's the only other place you can get them outside of events, because in the upcoming patch 1.2 Dragonspine, it does seem like we are going to get another chance to get a new prototype. But having said that, we are now going to have 3 different craftable weapons as opposed to 2. Currently we only have 2 craftable weapons, but now it's going to be increased to 3, so now there's even more options. So you've got to really weigh up where you want to be using your prototypes. My recommendation, guys, honestly, this is obviously not going to be the most efficient, but it's going to be the most fail-safe and future-proof, is just to create one of every single prototype weapon. Yes, you are going to miss out on a few refinements here and there, but the value of not having a weapon for your future characters versus the value of having a slightly stronger weapon for one of your characters, I mean, you can weigh that up yourself, but for me, I would absolutely hate if I had to run 3-star weapons for some of my new characters that I really want to play with, and I want to kit them out with the correct items. Now, if you're wondering where to get some of these prototypes outside of the weekly boss drops, such as Tartaglia, Andreas, and Devalin, you can go to this lady in Liyue, and you want to ideally actually just clear out this shop. Margaret in Mondstadt as well offers some of these, I believe the sword, but ideally you want to clear out everything, guys. So don't worry if you're a beginner and you're like, oh, do I need to save these sigils? No, you don't. You need to use them all up in the shop so you can actually access this Mora at the bottom, which is currently locked away. If you haven't unlocked the full shop, your Mora for 2 Animo sigils each will be locked away. So as you can see, I still have Animo sigils or Geo sigils. It's the same for both shops. You want to clear out both shops completely, because you're eventually going to run out of items in there, and the only thing you can buy there is Mora at the end of the day. So if you want to make prototypes as well, guys, the thing you want to do is head on over to the blacksmith. If I can find the blacksmith, he's all the way down here. The blacksmith, you talk to the blacksmith, and then you have the prototype weapons. But this is another small mistake that a lot of people have made, and this is going to tie in not just to crafting weapons, but also crafting items. Now this, when you go speak to one of these NPCs, or you go to the crafting table, or even cooking, guys, this is actually the same thing. What you're going to find is that some of these characters do have passives that allow you to create bonus items. So if we take a look here, there's nothing glowing here. There's no green circle glowing here. But if I, for example, I go on to the prototype Grudge and I switch off Zhongli, you see this pulsing green thing coming out, guys. Make sure to click on that, because that means one of your characters has a passive that's actually going to give you a bonus here. So this one for Zhongli is he will refund 15% of the ores used when crafting pole arm type weapons. So this is going to save you a little bit of bonus items, which is pretty dang huge. And the main one, guys, is the one I've been slept on. I've seen being slept on the most, is Mona, guys. So Mona, who I unfortunately do not have, I really wish I did have her. Mona and Sing Chu actually is another one. If we go over here to Timaeus and his alchemy table, I don't want to talk to you, Timaeus, but if we go over here and, for example, you want to craft a book, So you see the pulsating green thing here, guys. Always make sure to check for this when you're cooking, when you're crafting, when you're creating or smithing any item. Always make sure to check there is no character you have that might give you a bonus. Because Xing Chu here, when Xing Chu crafts character talent materials, he has a 25% chance to refund a portion of the crafting materials used, which is pretty dang good. So if we do take a look at Xing Chu here, we're going to, let me craft some of this. What is Xing Chu's ability? As a 1 in 4 chance to refund me one of these blue books. So hopefully that's what we can have. Boom. Xing Chu, did you let me down? No, you 3! He went huge, guys. Xing Chu just went huge. He's just basically earned me another gold book as a bonus there. So that's really, really, really big. Now, Mona's one is going to be for weapons here, and that's obviously going to be huge. All of these kind of abilities are saving you time and resin. So please make sure you are making the most out of all of these abilities that characters will have. The future character Albedo coming out, I believe, also has a weapon one, and his one is going to be more similar to how Sucrose's one works. So essentially it is better than Mona's one, but how Sucrose's one works here. So again, you see the pulsating green thing here. Go to the top, you find a character Sucrose. When she crafts character and weapon enhancement materials, she has a 10% chance to obtain double the product. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Albedo is going to be exactly the same, but for these weapon ascension materials, which is actually, that stuff costs a resin. This stuff is free to farm. Come on, Sucrose, can you go as big as Xing Chu just did? Okay, 10% on the mark there. So we take that. That's a nice little bonus that you can get from there. And cooking is exactly the same. If you go over here to the stove over here and you just cook, you can see there's loads of characters who will give you a cooking bonus when cooking any sort of healing item, an attack item. So if we take a look at cooking items, we have 4 different candidates who do multiple different things. So Barbara, Gina, and Diona all have the same thing. I think that's a little bit sexist, to be honest, but when a perfect cooking is achieved on a dish, blah 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 blah, there's a 12% chance to obtain double the product. Some characters might even have a special dish that they might obtain, and the special dishes, guys, hopefully we can get one here. Razor, what have you got for us? So Razor has just created 6 of these puppy paw hash browns. Very cute. But this one will restore 40% HP and a flat 2,350 HP to the selected characters. Essentially, the special dishes are superior versions of the original. As you can see, 34% to 1,900 and then 40% to 2,350. So that is a bit of a change that you can notice. But for me, I would still say my recommendation is go for the chance to duplicate, because when you do eventually unlock the NRE item, the Z key that you can see to the far right, which is from the Mondstadt reputation, you can only stack one type of food in there, so having a ton of different variety of foods is not that convenient. So yeah, let's move on to mistake number 3, I think. Mistake number 3. Okay, guys, next mistake is one I've seen even some veteran players making because they simply didn't see this part of the game. So, when you go to Catherine, guys, there's multiple things that you should know. First of all is doing your daily commissions. So daily commissions are daily events that you can do. Make sure you do them. They give you a lot of rewards. So please make sure you are doing them. If you press J on your mouse pad, your keyboard, you should open up a menu which will have all your quests. But the main thing here is dispatch characters on expeditions. Okay, guys, now this is something that I was very surprised to see, like certain AR45 plus players not noticing, is that there is a 20-hour option, guys, which will give you far superior expedition rewards. And I know you guys know someone who's guilty of this, who doesn't actually click through these different tiers, but 20 hours is always the best one to be doing. So that's my recommendation. Always go for 20 hours. These crystal chunks are essential to give you the best EXP items for leveling up your weapons. And this is going to tie into the next point, is not mining. Now, this is only for the players that want to accelerate their game and their weapons, because you can do this every single day. So you want to go to I like something made, and you want to be making this mystic enhancement ore using crystal chunks. Now, crystal chunks, there are plenty in the world to farm, but it is a bit tedious to farm them every single day, because you are going to need the equivalent of 120 crystal chunks every single day to max out at Wagner or the other blacksmith to get you all of these mystic enhancement ores every single day. So you can only use 120 of these maximum every day, which is why the amount right now is 0, because I've already given him 120. Now, if you don't know where to get any of these, once you hit, I believe, Adventure Rank 25, for Mondstadt and adventure rank 30 for Liyue. Maybe it's 30 and 35, but you'll get this option. Any tips on finding ore in Mondstadt after you start using the reputation system, and then Wagner will specifically point out some very good areas that you can go to mine for these crystal chunks. Now naturally you should be doing this every single day because he will reset these every single day, Wagner, but not all of them will show up on the map. As you can see, all these pickaxes that I have put down on the map are places where you can get crystal chunks. Now these natural spawning crystal chunks, after you take them, they take 3 days or 72 hours, exactly 72 hours after you've mined them afterwards to respawn. Not 3 reset days, but 72 hours from the exact moment you take them. These magical crystal chunks, which will also spawn some of the smaller chunks beside them, can reset every single day, and you want to go to the Liyue blacksmith and you want to go to Wagner in Mondstadt to actually reset these. So as you can see, we've got some very nice juicy crystals here, and if you have the mining prince Razor, you can hold E, or you can alternatively use the mining god, which is Zhongli, and you can hold E to instantly break all of them if you have them as well. Otherwise, you want to be using claymore characters like Noel to like bash them down with the claymore, and then once you get 120 guys, you want to go over to Wagner, or you want to go over to the Liyue one and then basically feed them all into Mystic Enhancement. The next one is a very beginner tip. It's for people who have really never played RPGs. This one is about leveling up your talents. More importantly than having overpowered weapons, having overpowered characters with overpowered artifacts, you want to make sure their talents are leveled up. Now, I have a friend who I'm sure you guys have probably seen on my streams or some of my videos before, who was at I think adventure rank 36 and hadn't leveled up any of the characters' talents and was hitting enemies for like 30 damage, which is quite, you know, staggering in its own sense. I'm very impressed that they were able to keep playing into that adventure rank without ever leveling up their talents. But the talents is where your scaling for your abilities is gonna go up. So as you can see, a 65% increase from level 10 to level 11. Now that is a big increase. That's more than a lot of artifacts, what they're going to give you, more than what a lot of weapons are going to give you. But naturally, you want to ascend your weapons, you want to ascend your characters, and you want to make sure their talents are all leveled up, and you farm the materials for those talents as accordingly. And you can see where to get these talents from. If you just click on them, you can go click here and see if they're currently available on that day. Today is a Saturday, so I am able to farm the talents here, but that is just an example of make sure you level up your talents. The other reason, if people are asking why don't you do damage, is because you probably don't have artifacts leveled up. And if you are a low adventure rank, guys, my recommendation is don't start farming artifact domains until you are at least adventure rank 35. At adventure rank 35, while you can still only get purple artifacts, it's worth farming a set for your, let's say, your main character or your main DPS character, the character you play with the most, and take those artifacts if they have good main stats. Don't worry about the sub stats. So we take a look at the main stat here, which is attack. The sub stats here are, don't worry about them. For the purple artifacts, you can take them to like level 8 or level 12. Now that will ease you in to when you get to adventure rank 40, which is when you can start, you know, branching out a little bit more and looking at more different domains, because you do have a chance at adventure rank 40 to start dropping legendary or gold artifacts. At adventure rank 45, this is why a lot of people are recommending you save your fragile resin to refill for adventure rank 45, is where you are always guaranteed a legendary drop from an artifact domain. Not from the world bosses, but from the domain. You are always guaranteed to get one. It might not be good, but at least you're guaranteed to get legendary artifacts at that point. So up until that point, I would only say it's worth farming artifacts for your main DPS and maybe your main healer, and that's it. All your other support characters, you should be putting on the back burner, letting them kind of chill out a bit with like level 4 artifacts, level 0 artifacts. Some of my characters don't have any artifacts at all, and that's absolutely a-okay, because I either don't use them enough for them to warrant having artifacts, but you can put like 1-star, 2-star artifacts on them, or even 3-star artifacts if you think it's going to help them in any way, shape or form. But again, I do not recommend leveling up 2-star, 3-star artifacts, and 4 stars I would only really level up all the way to 16, which is their maximum cap, if they have good substats and they have a good main stat. So do I have an example here? Not really, because there's only a bunch of hot garbage in here. But if you do find a 4-star artifact that's worth leveling up, actually my Tartaglia has one, which is essential. So this one, I need a hydro damage goblet, and I need one for this set, and this one incidentally actually has good substats for a purple artifact. It's obviously not as good as a legendary artifact, but you know, it will suffice. So you want to ideally keep hold of any of these goblets that have elemental bonuses with good substats, because these are really hard to find even in their legendary form. So that is something else you want to hold on to. But until adventure rank 45, guys, please don't go too hard on farming artifacts. Adventure rank 40, you can start really concentrating on your main DPS characters, trying to get some legendaries for them as well. But for your other characters, like support characters, don't worry too much about them until your adventure rank 45. Okay, the next one is definitely for beginners who are new to RPGs, and it's animation cancelling. When you are attacking, you have an animation here that will prevent you from moving if you watch this full animation. However, you can actually cancel this animation simply by dashing and then immediately enter another combo if you would like. Now, some characters benefit from not even doing the full combo, like Razor. It's actually more damage in certain situations if you just consistently cancel on his third attack. But there's, you know, that's a little bit too much for just a beginner's tips video. But yes, I've seen a lot of people who just simply do their attack combo and don't know that they can even string in another attack to, for example, an elemental skill there, or your Q, your ultimate, to cancel the animation and continue the combo. So please make uses of that if you can, and then it's, you know, it will help you with your DPS overall if you're not just waiting for the animation to finish. So shout out to my wife, because she never animation cancels, for that tip. Alright guys, the next thing I want to talk about is pity and how pity actually works. For those of you who don't know what pity is when you've done a X amount of pulls and you're guaranteed to get a 5-star character, not necessarily of your choice, but a 5-star character or a 5-star weapon. Now, to simplify this, let's first of all focus on the event banner, the character event banner. Right now, we have got Zhongli on the screen. Next up, we're going to have Albedo, and the one before this was Tartaglia. Let's say, so the event pity banner for character banners, every 90 pulls, within 90 pulls, you are always guaranteed to get a 5-star character. You cannot go 91 pulls without pulling a 5-star character. Every single 90, you are always guaranteed to get at least one 5-star item. And when I say item, I mean character for the character banner. It's not necessarily going to be the event rate up. That is guaranteed every 180 pulls. And how this is going to work is, let's say in your first multi-pull, so if you do a multi-pull, that's 10 pulls out of 90, you don't get a 5-star. You are now 10 out of 90, which means within the next 80 pulls, you are guaranteed to get a 5-star character. Let's say you do one more single pull after that multi-pull, so the 11th pull out of 90, you get a 5-star character. That 5-star character is going to reset your pity, so you're now back again at 0 out of 90. Now, this 0 out of 90, let's say you let this banner finish, will actually carry over into the next banner. Let's say it wasn't 0 out of 90, and you're maybe 44 out of 90 pulls into getting your first 5-star on the banner. Whether or not it's the banner rate up or not, doesn't matter. It's your first 5-star pity, and then that 44 out of 90, let's say this Zhongli banner finishes, and then it moves on into the future characters banner. That banner, you will only need to do, what is it, 46 more pulls out of 90 to guarantee yourself that 90th pull, which is going to give you a guaranteed 5-star. So those pities will carry over from the same banners. However, it's very important you guys know that the banners are different and these pities are all separate. There's 3 different pity systems on each of these banners. So you've got Gentry of Hermitage here, which is a Zhongli event banner. Character event banners will carry over between character event banners. Weapon banners will have their pity carry over between weapon banners. And then the permanent banner is just permanent. It's going to change its art every now and then to bait you guys, but it is always going to be permanent. So please do keep that one in mind. None of these pities, so if you do 800 pulls on here, these 800 pulls on here will not count for any of these other 2 banners. So when it comes to your primo gems, guys, I would say the better investment is always going to be the event rate up banner, where you have a very good chance of pulling 4-star characters that you want of your choice if they are on that banner, alongside the 5-star character as well. The weapons banner, the pity is only 80, and then we also have another mechanic called soft pity. Now, soft pity kicks in at 75 or 65 pulls respectively for the different banners. So 65 out of 80, you have a very high chance on the 65th pull to guarantee, or not guarantee, but you have a very high chance, I believe it's 50% chance to get a gold. And that 50% will slowly increase closer and closer to 100 until you get to the 80th pull on the weapons banner. For the character banners or the permanent banner, it's 75 out of 90. On the 75th pull, there is a thing called soft pity. Again, you have the 50% chance, and then after that, it's going to start ramping up from 50 all the way to 100 until you get to the 90th pull. So if you do end up having to go all the way to 90, guys, you have to be one of the most unlucky, yet also luckiest people in the world, because you can argue you're so unlucky that you're probably lucky. But if you have to go to 90 pulls, guys, you are so unlucky, and I'm so sorry to hear that, because you've probably seen a lot of content creators around the 75th pull, they always get the 5-star. So it's normally between 75 to 80 out of 90. You are very likely to single pull a 5-star or multi-summon them. Now, I've also seen a lot of misinformation going around about multis are worse than singles. There's absolutely no difference at all. If, for example, you do a multi-pull and you're doing it on your 70th pull, so you're going to go from 70 to 80 pulls with the multi-pull, and then halfway through that at 75 you get the 5-star character, that pity is going to reset midway through the multi. It's not like it's a separate system between singles and multis. It's always going to be consistent, so don't worry about doing multis or singles. The only time where you should worry about multis or singles is if you want to save those extra overlapping surplus pulls for the future banner. For example, on this banner, if you do want Razor, Chongyun, or Xinyan, you should just keep doing multis. But if you don't want these 4-stars, then you should start doing singles when you get closer and closer to the 75th mark, where you're doing soft pity. So that's where you want to start doing singles, because you don't want to reset your 4-star pity. 4-star pity, I know this is very confusing, is every 10 rolls or every 10 summons, you are guaranteed to get a 4-star character. And this will also carry over into future banners as well. So if we have taken a look here, the last item I got back-to-back 4-stars here, so I was very lucky. But with the sacrificial sword, this is an off-banner item. The next 4-star I will pull is guaranteed to be one of these 3 4-stars, or if I just leave this and I never touch this banner again, it will be a 4-star on the next banner. So that kind of pity system will also carry over into the next banner. Right. I think that is everything I want to cover, guys. Actually, one last thing I want to cover, and I will always put this in every single tips video because I want more and more people to do this. I see people complaining they don't have enough artifact EXP. You guys need to start doing daily artifact farming, and at the very least, if you are lazy and you are complaining, you will not have any right to complain unless you come to this location every single day. This actually resets every 12 hours. Not every artifact location in the world resets 12 hours, but this one here, all of these pots will have artifacts here for you. So you should come here every single day, every 12 hours if you can, and it will reset. And you collect those artifacts. You can sell them for Mora if you want to by destroying them. They will give you Mora back. I don't recommend doing that, but that is an option if you need Mora. That's one thing you could do, or you can just use them for artifact EXP as well. So this is located just pretty much directly west of Wang Shu-in's teleporter here, and this is a star mark. If you want to know more about daily artifact routes and where to go with all these stars that I've pinned on the map, please do check out the link in the description. That will take you to my daily artifact route. That gives you around 30,000 plus Mora's worth, and it's really a bit more than that. And then if you do kill like mini bosses on the world every day, like these lava chars, I've got one marked here, they are guaranteed to drop you 600 Mora every single time you kill them. There's like 4, 5, maybe even 6 in the world, so that's 3,600 Mora every day on top of their drops, and on top of the chance of getting a purple or 3-star artifact as well. So these ones, if you're not farming them, if you're not making the most out of the game, what's available to you, and you're just standing around, running around, picking up mint and stuff like that, and you're still complaining, I gotta say, guys, I gotta strip away the badge of complaint from you, because if you're not making the most of it, that's really not anybody else's fault but your own. So please, this one area, guys, if you do this one area, then fine, you can complain. But if you don't do this one specific area, guys, please, you cannot complain about the lack of artifact EXP, because all of these stars that I've marked down will give you a lot of artifact EXP. The other thing that you should be doing is mining every single day as well, but that is when you want to become a bit more try hard and graduate from being a filthy filthy casual. So all memes aside, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope that video was helpful for you guys. I know it got a bit confusing towards the end with the pity system. All you guys need to know is that pity will carry over between banner to banner and only banners of the same category. So these 3 banners all have different pity systems. That is one of the biggest questions I've seen. Singles versus multis ultimately doesn't really make a big difference at the end of the day. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful day, and bye-bye.